guys, Antvenom here, and welcome back to a random little vlog that I'm doing from a hotel room in LA. Specifically, I'm here doing some sort of like video thing that I'm not too sure if I can get into the details about because I don't know, like I haven't asked. I probably should do that. But anyways, in this video what I want to do is I want to go over everything that is in my mobile recording setup that is right back there. Because, I don't know, I feel like it would be an interesting topic to get into it and what everything is and why I have it, but I do want to go on a full disclosure that none of the items that you guys are seeing here are going to be like paid spots or anything like that, and you don't actually need like everything that I have here in order to have your own awesome setup of your own. This is just sort of the stuff that I decided to use with my mobile recording setup. So let's go ahead, let's get into it here. So starting off, I guess, with the bag itself, I don't really know where I got this bag or what brand it is. If you guys recognize that logo right there, then feel free to, use that, I guess, as a way to try and find this. But I don't know, I really like this bag because it's got these neat little pockets right here so that I can actually store everything. And I don't know, I just like the style of it because I'm very much a fan of like the sort of gray look. And yeah, I guess there's not too much to it other than that. So anyways, going into the sort of heart and soul of this setup here, this is my Razer Blade laptop, and this is actually the first generation Razer Blade laptop. So Razer, if you want to send me another one of these, I know I crap on everything that you guys actually release, but the one thing that I don't crap on is your laptops. I love these things. It's just everything else that goes faulty on me for some reason. Otherwise, I like the quality of the stuff they make. The reason why I chose this laptop is because it's thin, and it was the kind of the first laptop of its kind. It was sort of the start of this whole philosophy. I don't like things jetting out from my bag. I don't like having a really big bulky bag. I like something that I can just throw on my back and go and hold it for a long period of time. And the Razer Blade laptop, along with, well, here's its charger, I guess, is the, are the sort of centerpieces of this sort of mobile recording setup. So, all right, moving on to a more unconventional item. This one is actually the most recent addition to the setup. For those of you who follow the Linus Tech Tips channel, you might know they did a review on this about a month or two ago. This is the G-Chick 13-inch like secondary monitor. It's a 1080p monitor, so ironically enough, it has more resolution than that computer over there. So it's very useful to actually have and be able to do editing and whatnot and have a lot of screen real estate in order to do that. Though this one, I don't know, I could see this being the most expendable portion of my mobile recording setup because I don't require that much screen real estate all the time. But I don't know, I thought it was a cool addition and I do like having it, and that's sort of why I have it. All right, so now moving on to more of the nitty gritty things. I don't really know what order I should go in here. So we'll go from left to right, why not, just for the heck of it. These are the wires for the monitor itself, so I don't really need to show those off. This little guy right here, this is a 8-bit DO 8-bit gamepad Pro. So it's a little like gamepad thing that sort of has all the buttons that a Super Nintendo controller has, but it looks like a straight up regular NES controller. This thing is awesome because, again, of how thin it is, going with the whole theme of thin here. And it's an awesome little gamepad that I can play all kinds of games and whatnot on the laptop or on my phone if I decide to figure out how I want to set that up. So this little guy right here is a little battery pack. I love to have battery packs on me, especially when I'm going to conventions and whatnot, because it is very likely your phone will die no matter what when you're at a convention, especially if you're trying to use internet on your phone and there's like 10,000 other people there. Having one of these is really useful because, yeah, your battery is very likely to die. I don't think I need to get much more into it other than that. And I chose this one because it has these wires that come out from here. This is called the Tilt. And it has these wires. This one is for just micro USB, so I do have one micro USB thing I can charge. And then out the other end is the lightning connector for my iPhone, which is the type of phone that I have. All right, moving on here, I do have myself a 1 terabyte portable, hard drive. This is mainly for capturing video if I find that I don't have much space or anything on the hard drive on the laptop, even though I usually do. I do like using one of these just, because it's cool to have it. And if I know that I need to move a whole bunch of footage from here to my main computer or vice versa, it's very easy to do. Just unplug it from the laptop, plug it into here, or vice versa. Unplug it from the laptop, plug it into my main desktop, and everything's good to go. Got my passport. It's a really good idea to have, an alternative form of ID on you and in your bags at all times, because in case you lose your ID, you don't want to not have the ability to fly home. Like in the case that I lose this, which is, my wallet and whatnot, has everything in it. In the rare case that I lose that and can't get it back, having a way to have your ID and get home is exceptionally important. Like, there's always ways to, to print out your boarding passes and whatnot at the airport, but having another ID, if you don't have this, you don't fly home, and that's a situation I personally wouldn't want to wind up in. I've almost lost my ID before at E3 in 2012. I left my wallet on the floor of the E3 floor. I remembered where I wound up leaving it, and I actually got it back because it was black and matched the black floor in the dark area. Nobody wound up picking it up, thankfully. So, all right, moving on here. This is also a very recent addition. This is a Monster Power 4-port, electrical extension thing, but it sort of wraps in on itself. This is probably actually the thickest item that goes into my bag, but this goes into the same spot that the chargers go into, so it doesn't really add any bulk or anything like that to the bag itself, and it's very convenient having this specifically in like a hotel room where they only give you like one decent plug. I don't really carry many wires around with me. That's also another philosophy of this setup here. All I really have for wiring is these little guys right here. We got these two things right here, which are just these little like micro USB connections or mini USB or whatever that you want to call them, and they're really short, and I like these a lot. This little guy right here is really cool. This is, it serves a double purpose. This is a little media drive from SanDisk. I think I got this because, Unbox Therapy showed it off in a video, and I really like the idea of it. So this guy, along with like an iPhone app, you can actually use this and put movies on it or music or whatever onto this and then watch them on your phone. And it has its own little Wi-Fi network that it creates and whatnot, and it runs off of battery power. And the battery's actually pretty decent on it. Kind of surprising they could fit a battery good enough to stream media onto this thing and have it last a good 4 hours. So yeah, but another thing that it has is micro USB expansion, which is really good because that means I can use, or not micro, did I say micro USB? I meant, SD card storage. That's what I meant, And it plugs in via micro USB to my computer. That's what I meant to get at. So I can actually have an SD card on my computer and not require one on the laptop itself. So nice double purpose here, and yeah, that's what one of those little micro wires are for that I showed off just a minute ago. Literally throwing things around. I know, I'm awesome like that. This little guy is chapstick, specifically the not chapstick brand, but like the ballistics brand. Very good to have with you when you are traveling. Chap lips are the worst thing to have next to a headache, and I do have Tylenol, but it's not right here. So anyways, moving on here, this little guy is a Ethernet to USB adapter. So this is the J5 Create one. I just kind of like the way it looked, and it's also USB 3 so that you don't have to worry about speeds or anything. But this little guy right here, I also have an iPhone version of this for, and then I think, oh yeah, the iPhone one's being used over there. That's right. I was in the middle of using it. That's why it's not over here. So this little guy is awesome. I am not a fan of micro cables because micro cables are fundamentally useless to me, except for like charging cables, but for like my phone, I like using that on occasion. So having a micro cable to charge it is really inconvenient, but retractable cables, man, they serve the same purpose of being really stupidly small, stupidly thin, and yet can be extended to be really, really long. So yeah, super awesome. Okay, there we go. Close, please. There we go. Thank you. And specifically the ones that I got off of Amazon are really good quality, so I like them a lot. So anyways, moving on here, we're actually getting down to the nitty gritty here. If you guys you can't see, but I'll show you guys everything that is thrown over there in a second. So iPod earbud headphones, I like having these. I do typically travel with a pair of Bose QC15 headphones as well, the kind that are noise canceling and whatnot, because they're very good on long flights, but I forgot them, but thankfully I was still able to sleep on the plane, because that's really easy. Car keys, nothing really too special about these, except for this guy right here. This thing is cool. So this is a Corsair, I think it's called the Corsair Vega. It's a 32 gigabyte USB drive. This thing is awesome if I decide to have like utilities and whatnot on it, or just kind of whatever. It's really, I don't know, it's cool to have, and it fits well on my keychain nonetheless. And I also have the key to my desk on here because I lock my desk whenever I wind up going out on trips, just in case. But anyways, another cool thing that I have right here, this is not really a part of the mobile recording setup, but this is my phone case that I have actually. So if you go ahead and you take a look, it's got my credit cards, it's got the hotel card in here, and then, it's got my ID, which I flipped over for obvious reasons. And then I can go ahead and I can put my phone in there, and it's super awesome. And what's cool is that the case actually detaches. So you can have two separate pieces like this in case you want to put it in your dashboard of your car or whatever. you know, it's pretty cool to have, and then it just sort of locks right back into place just like that. Super cool. It's called the Book from 12 South. My only complaint about this one is it uses this felt material right here, which frays, and for whatever stupid reason, they allowed that to happen. Literally all of my cards fell out just by sort of yanking them like that. Not really too fond of that, but it does happen, so whatever, I guess. All right, moving on here. This is one you guys have probably been really curious about. I should have showed it off earlier, but this is my microphone that I use on my mobile recording setup because, as I said, it's a mobile recording setup, so I can record with it. So this is what's called the Samson Go microphone. This microphone is recording class quality for about $30. If you guys are ever thinking of getting into YouTube and you want a microphone that is under like 50 bucks or something, I would highly recommend using this. So yeah, I mean, it's very cool. It's a nice condenser microphone. The only thing that kind of stinks is that it doesn't come with a pop filter. So I actually ghetto rigged a pop filter out of like some foam for like a spare foam cover for a microphone that I got, and then I used a bunch of super glue on it, and bam, if I go ahead and I just slip this over, we have ourselves a little ghetto pop filter. I kid you not, that's how ghetto I can be sometimes. So yeah, and then this is the USB wire that goes along with it. So the last thing that I want to show you guys is the tripod that this video was shot with. So this tripod is one that I got from Brookstone. It comes in a little package that they have for, like, you know, recording or whatever. It works really, really well. And it also has the unintended use case of clipping the microphone clip to the stand itself. It's not really screwed in or anything like that. It's more or less just sort of clipped in right there. And if I go ahead and I take this off, you guys can probably understand how this is clipped on. Bam, it just clips over the hole there, and that works. But I also have this little guy right here, which is a sort of screw-in phone mount. It sort of stretches so that it can sort of, you know, grip your phone in place, and it allows me to shoot smooth video and whatnot if I want to have my phone sitting still without having a whole big tripod with me or anything like that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end off this vlog here. I hope you all enjoyed. My name is Antvenom. You guys are awesome, and I can't point to the camera. And I bid you all farewell, guys. Thanks so much for watching.